Greetings, fellow traveler and viewer. Welcome to Sleep Tarot, where we do tarot card readings in a slow and calm style, similar to late night radio shows. Before we begin, please keep in mind that this is a broad reading, so if you feel a strong connection to any idea or theme during the reading, bring it along with you during your journey. And if not, let it float on by. We're going to be doing a pick a card reading, so we will draw 3 cards at random and then assign an item to each. This will give you an opportunity to choose your reading based on how you connect with the item, and then a second opportunity once the cards are revealed. Perhaps the card reveal will reaffirm your initial decision, or perhaps it will open new pathways for you to consider. Feel free to listen to one or all of the readings. Remember, the choice to explore is always up to you. Great, so let's begin. Ooh. Okay, we'll put that to the side. We're going to be using 3 animal-related stones today. So the question today is going to be, what kind of natural strength do you possess that's going to be important in the coming journey that you're going to face, that you're going to take on? What kind of natural power do you possess? What's something that you might not be aware of? A strength of yours, a natural strength. So the Nine of Wands came out, so perhaps we'll read this later. We'll apply this to the general reading, but I'm going to put this to the side for now. It's going to stay out of the decks. When we draw, I want to see it as kind of an overarching theme, but the main theme of today is, what natural strength do you possess that's going to be important in your upcoming adventures, in your upcoming journey, in your upcoming challenges, in your upcoming projects? What kind of natural strength do you possess? So, we're going to assign an item to each one of these cards. For the first one, we'll have this squirrel, carved squirrel from brownstone. For reading number 2, we will have this deer in this, I believe this is marble, this white stone. And for group number 3, we have this green stone, might be marble too, green stone with a whale emblem. Okay. So we have the squirrel, the deer, and the whale. I'll give you a moment to choose based on the item. Okay, let's reveal the cards. For the squirrel, we have the Knight of Swords. The squirrel and the Knight of Swords. Resourcefulness. For reading number 2, with the deer, we have the Empress. Look how the white flowers match the marble stone. Okay. For reading number 3, the whale, we have Page of Cups. That's actually perfect for the whale. We have the adventure in the ocean, looking over the ocean and little fish. This is a lot of fun. This is a fun adventure. We'll pick these up together. The whale and the Page of Cups. That's so appropriate. Great combination, great matching. Okay. So, I'll give you a moment to choose based on these items. We might actually just Move these up here too. Okay. Please keep in mind too that this is a new channel. So any interactions you decide to give to it, any likes, comments, or especially subscribing, is greatly beneficial to new channels such as these and is tremendously appreciated. Okay, so let's start with reading number 1. Greetings, group number 1. I brought back in the Nine of Wands because I think this is going to be an interesting theme besides the natural strength theme that we're going with in this reading, because the Knight of Wands is one where it feels like you've just been going and going and going, and you just haven't quite made it yet. You know, you just keep going, but you're so close to success here. Nine of Wands, perhaps your natural strength is going to shine through at the perfect moment to get you across the finish line, to get you right across that finish line. Okay, so we're going to begin shuffling. I hope you're doing well today. This one already just seemed to want to come out. I hope you're doing well today, group number 1. You chose the squirrel. Actually, wait 1 second. We didn't take a moment to... You chose the squirrel and the Knight of Swords. I might read the Knight of Swords. I like the squirrel because the squirrel represents a sense of resourcefulness, a concept of, you know, saving things for later. You know, squirrels will often dig holes and hide nuts. But, you know, we'll see more in the reading. Did you see that? That just came right out. Okay. Oh, that one too. Very clear cards wanting to be seen today. That one too. We'll just draw the rest real quick. Cut and draw. Okay. So what kind of uphill battle are you dealing with lately? You know, what's something that you've been working hard on where you haven't seen as much progress as you'd like? Is there something like that for you right now? Where you feel like there should be more progress happening, but it's not quite there yet? Like you've just been going uphill? Okay. The current position. 3 of Cups. Are you meeting up with friends? Is there some kind of reunion happening? Perhaps a celebration, a wedding. Apologies for the coughing. Group number 1. Wedding, maybe? Baptism, baby shower. In the past, spark of creativity. Perhaps you're helping with a party, or perhaps you're providing some form of resource for a party. Where you were. You have the World. Was there a major life event in the recent past? Something that really changed the trajectory of your life, especially in an emotional state of mind. But also perhaps economically, perhaps you started a new venture in the past. Perhaps there was a new venture starting, or you just ended a venture. Some project or means of creating wealth or creativity. Something ended, but it was not in a bad way. It was a new cycle beginning, because look at this burst of energy, birth of creative growth, right after the end of a creative endeavor. Perhaps you ended one creative endeavor and you're about to start a new one. Either way, right now there seems to be some sort of reconvening, some sort of celebration. Perhaps there was quite a bit of work to get there. But what kind of strength is this? We have resourcefulness, which is very much within the wands. Very much a resourceful, creative energy. The squirrel figures out a way to get its food and survive the winter. Also, the squirrel is able to climb trees, is able to see a farther vantage point than many, and has a safety net in some ways because it can climb a tree and hide in a tree, but also can see very far. Let's read the Knight of Swords real quick right now. The Knight of Swords. This knight is impulsive, impatient, and fearless. They come barreling through and speak their mind to ensure everyone will hear them. This energy of excitement and controversy might appear slightly arrogant and over the top to the casual observer. There might be some unresolved anger or bitterness behind their statements to use such a loud platform. Stop and ask yourself if this is true. Use your sharp wit to move forward, but be mindful to keep the past in the past. Okay. What happened in the past? We have an ending of some sort of venture, perhaps. In the future position, we have Nine of Cups. In the emotional underlying position, in the above position, in the future, we have Page of Swords. Some interesting sword, wands, dynamic, and currently within cups. It's interesting. Let's keep moving. High Priestess. Something kind of hidden. With Four of Swords. What natural strength do you have? Well, you certainly are one of movement. Perhaps resting is something you'd like to consider. Perhaps taking a moment to meditate on what is underlying. There's an underlying situation. You feel successful. Clearly, there's a moment of celebration here because of your ingenuity and your creativity. But what's the natural underlying strength? We have the Page of Swords. Let's read the Page of Swords real quick. The swords, the pages, and the knights combining together, because you had the Knight of Swords and then you get the Page of Swords, plus the Four of Swords, which is more of a take a moment to rest. The restless mind can be tricky to navigate. You want to do it all, but there's only room to tackle so much at a time. This page represents a time to explore the why of things, look into the details, seek knowledge, and strive for justice and peace. Use this as an invitation to explore and peel back more layers to discover deeper truths. So, group number 1, you're resourceful, you're creative, you're able to create some form of stability and prosperity through your creative endeavors. Perhaps you have multiple projects at once. Right now you might be meeting up with people who you haven't seen in a while, or you might be celebrating a reunion of some sort, perhaps a wedding or some sort of family event. But it also seems like you have a lot more on your mind. And it seems interesting because with the swords, you have both the page and the knights, kind of emphasizing the sense that you're capable of fast growth and fast bursts of creativity and action. But then look at the standing point here. You might want to take a moment to reflect, because your resourcefulness might actually be even strengthened if you're able to take a moment to reflect. You've been putting so much in, you might want to keep barreling through, but the scroll works fast, but it works fast during the times that it knows it can. Once it gets to the winter time, it's going to want to hibernate. So perhaps you want to take a moment to reflect and relax after accumulating the resources from your last creative endeavor. That being said, there's always opportunities for new creative endeavors, and they can lead to a moment of real happiness if you hit that spark of creativity, that eureka moment. Perhaps you've reached that kind of eureka moment recently. You're very clever. That is obviously part of your natural talent. But also, you can enhance that talent by being mindful and not being too brash and rushing into things. But you clearly know you have those sparks of creativity. You can see in your mind ways of succeeding. Apologies for the sounds in the background. It sounds like a helicopter. Let's do some clarification on these cards. Very resourceful. You're very resourceful. You also have a clear vision. You want family, I think. Maybe you don't want children, but you definitely want a safe, stable home. What kind of safe, stable home do you want? Two of Wands. Decisions to be made. Okay. We're just going to shuffle this real quick and clarify. Okay. To clarifying the current position above the Three of Cups, we have the Ten of Pentacles. It's interesting, you have the Ten of Pentacles in the middle position. Below the Three of Cups, we have the Ten of Cups. So completions of cycles, but also a focus. Like, there's a moment of real celebration here. And then we have the Eight of Swords on top of the underlying Ten of Cups in the middle. Perhaps something is giving you a sense of feeling obligated to do something. Do you feel obligated to do something that you might not want to put so much time and effort into? Ten of Wands above the Ace of Wands. You have a lot of ideas, and some are really great, but you have so many ideas. It's kind of like a squirrel burying so many different nuts in the ground, not being able to find that exact one that is like the tree, the one that's going to grow into a tree. You probably have had a lot of life lessons and a lot of ideas for the future from all the different experiences you had. But it's going to be the one that rings true the most, that Ace of Wands, that new idea that just springs forth, perhaps connecting dots, perhaps a eureka moment. And then we have a lot of more moving on. It's interesting. These clarifying cards. We have the Eight of Cups on top of the Knight of Pentacles. Perhaps you did leave a venture in the recent past. Underlying the World, we have Ace of Swords. A new idea. Perhaps a new idea brought you out of an old venture, allowed you the pathway to leave it for greener pastures or newer ideas. The Star above the King of Wands, there was some healing in the past. Perhaps this new idea gave you the strength to heal, to move on to better things. Clarifying the Nine of Cups. Ace of Wands again, look at this. A balanced Ace of Wands on both sides. Interesting. 2. Ace of Wands on top of Nine of Cups. This is a very emotional new beginning, wellsprings of new ideas. It makes sense to be heed caution about not moving too quickly with new ideas. Allow them to be incorporated into your other ideas that you have, but they are very exciting. We have the World again, 2 worlds. There's big cycles being completed here. This is a transition into the new. This is a transition of seasons almost. You have the squirrel like collecting for a new era. Perhaps it's, the squirrel is retrieving nuts from the wintertime. And these are the ideas that you've sown. These are concepts you've built up in the past that are starting to mature and be incorporated into your other life experiences. And then we have the Emperor above the High Priestess. The High Priestess has like kind of a twofold idea. It's something hidden, but also something intuitively known. The High Priestess is a intuition card of feeling what you feel and being true to your intuition and your gut feeling. What does your heart tell you? With the Emperor, you have discipline and control over your boundaries, your domain. Maybe this has something to do with being disciplined in the ideas that you believe in. Or you're being disciplined in listening to your heart. Above the Four of Swords in the future position, we have the Page of Swords again. Well, that's a clear clarification if I've ever seen one. You have Page of Swords into Four of Swords. Take your time. You have great ideas. I'm sure you can incorporate those ideas into the things you're going to be doing in the future. But be thoughtful and think about your past experiences. Plenty of very important past experiences will lead you on the right path. You will know in your heart the right thing to do. Be clear. Listen to yourself. You might feel like you just have all these choices you need to make and nothing seems to be clicking, but give it a little bit of time and look at the bigger picture, because there are some major cycles in here. Go back into your past successes. Think about your past successes and incorporate them into the ideas these new ideas that are coming online for you. You're very resourceful. This feels like you have everything it takes to weather any sort of winter and come out the other side with quite a bit of success. Gather your resources, be mindful that you might need to take a break, but it's going to be bountiful, and trust your instincts. Trust those instincts. Your instincts to find resources and also to save them, to be mindful of collecting and saving for the future is your strength. Tap into that. All right. It has been a great reading. I can't wait to hear how it's going for you. I wish you all the best in this new journey of yours, and I will see you soon. Take care. Greetings, group number 2. Reading number 2. You chose the Deer and the White Stone alongside the Empress. Very beautiful combination. We will see what kind of natural strength, what kind of natural power do you have that will be vital in the coming journey. We also have the Nine of Wands, which popped out in the beginning. If there's a sense that you've been working very hard and progress has been slow, remember, excuse me, remember that the Nine of Wands is almost at the Ten of Wands. You are almost at the finish line. With many of these, that's the energy from this card, is that if you're feeling stuck, remember you've put in a lot of work already and you just got to keep going. You're almost there. Nine of Wands. Okay, I hope you're doing well today. We're just going to draw a few. If any pop out, we'll put those in the middle. Man, I've been slipping my words lately today. Okay, there we go. We'll put them in the middle, and then we'll draw the rest. Oh man, did you see those cards? I did not see them, so we'll go with that. Just gonna put them to the side. Okay, we'll just draw the rest. I think that's good. Those wanted to fly out, so they did. Shuffle a little more. My gosh, okay, that one really just wants to come out, so we'll put that there. Great. I'll draw the rest. I hope you're doing well. I think I said that already, but I really do. I think that there's always that feeling that if you've been working a lot, you're kind of like, man, what do I need to get through this? And perhaps this natural strength of yours is something you have been overlooking. Perhaps there is a natural strength that'll help you break through that last bit of work that's needed to be done in whatever your endeavor is. Let's take a look in this current position. We have 10 of Wands. Well, how about that? Look at that. The 10 of Wands is the completion of the cycle of the Wands. Your 9 of Wands, you're almost there and you've completed it. Now, 10 of Wands does have the essence of almost a burdensome amount of wands there, but it's actually cause for celebration. These are life lessons that will eventually, I like to say, be incorporated into your subconscious, into your sense of self. You will actually have these lessons become natural parts of your instinct over time, and they will no longer be burdensome. If you try to memorize something over and over again, at first it just takes a lot of work, but eventually it becomes second nature. But what's your natural talent? There's a cause for celebration. If you've completed this, we have 6 of Wands underlying the 10 of Wands, a completion of a cycle worthy of celebration. In the past lower position, a tower. The tower. Perhaps something was surprising or shocking to you. But in some ways it might have been healing. A shocking but healing moment. Perhaps something happened that was not initially... Well, let's keep reading. We have the Knight of Wands in the past lower position, and the Ace of Pentacles in the above past position. Ace of Pentacles is like a new start. A new start in finances, in material possessions. A new start in some form of foundation. Alongside the Knight of Wands could perhaps be something involving creating a new venture, or it could be perhaps a move. Maybe you moved recently, or perhaps someone moved recently. Perhaps someone moved and you weren't expecting them to. Perhaps someone went in a different direction. But that surprise led to healing. These might be burdensome events. These might be moments that make you feel like they're overwhelming. But they are clearly, in some ways, empowering too. Whatever this shock was, led to something that's worth celebrating. And we have the 6 of Swords. Letting go, perhaps, or moving on into a new adventure. And the Ace of Swords, a new idea. See, here's a kind of an interesting combination. You have the start of a new beginning right next to the end of an old beginning, or an old cycle. Start of a new cycle next to an old cycle. The completion of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. You have a lot of life lessons. There are a lot of lessons that you've learned, and they might be almost feeling like a burden right now. But if you can find within those wands that one, that sharp one, the one that's a really good idea, perhaps a life lesson that can lead you in a way towards what you're seeking. This is an emotional journey here. This is clearly a very emotional journey. And moving on emotionally is going to be a good idea. These burdens don't need to be dwelled on. These events in the past don't need to be dwelled on, because you are strong. Whatever happened here, whatever shock to the system this was, you responded in a beautiful way. Judgment in the lower position on the right, and on the above position on the right, King of Cups. Emotional resilience, emotional stability, emotional maturity. You're strong. In fact, this feels really like a strong connection here. You have the King of Cups alongside the Empress with this deer, this buck. Strength, resilience, natural strength and resilience, the ability to be resourceful even under harsh conditions, shocking conditions. If the deer isn't prepared for the winter, the deer have to survive, and the strong, the ones that can respond strong with strength and resilience, are the ones that are going to get through. And you have that. You have that strength. You may not feel like it sometimes, especially if things are shocking, especially if there's a shock. But you're also creative. Definitely creative, because, oftentimes this looks like turning like lemons into lemonade right here. Lemons into lemonade. I'm feeling that very strongly here. Let's do some clarifying. We're going to be using the smaller cards. I like the smaller cards because you can still see the underlying cards, so it's easier to kind of get a sense of the combinations. All right. We'll cut. Ooh. That one's a little loose. So we'll just draw. Okay. On clarifying the 10 of Wands, it's the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands. If you're feeling like, man, lately it's just been non-stop, like no break. Remember, you're almost there. You're going to celebrate the Hierophant. If you're going to be celebrating, it might be because you've stuck to what you believe in. But also, this might be something to do with school. Perhaps you're learning a lot right now. You might be in school. Okay, the Magician alongside the Tower. See, this is beautiful because this is some kind of alchemy you've been performing here. You took a very shocking, potentially a position or a situation that most people would not have wanted to deal with, and you turned it into a moment to heal. More intuition. Actually, this makes me feel like you might want to go back to group number 1, because the High Priestess was there too. Okay. 5 of Cups. Interesting. There's a disappointment, perhaps. It was a disappointment, perhaps moving quickly. The Knight of Swords too. Yeah, this definitely feels like you might want to see group number 1. But at the same time, this is a different aspect of life here. Perhaps this is a situation where you were in school and you got some kind of news. But intuitively you knew you were going to be okay. You just got to keep working. You got to just stick to it. Stick to your strategy, your plan. Learn what you need to do. Maybe perhaps this is in the past you weren't getting the grades you wanted, or it could be a relationship issue. I don't want to use the word issue, but this could be a relationship situation. However, this could also be one of, working, not getting the response you were hoping for, but realizing it was an opportunity to work a little harder and focus in on those specific aspects that needed work. Strong, resilient responses. 3 of Pentacles. I said school, right? This is like working together in teams, but this also is very much like learning different skills. So I see like perhaps you are in school, or you're in some sort of lesson, You're taking courses or something. Five of Wands. Perhaps you're debating someone. I'm kind of branching off in two different timelines now, two different ideas. I'm being split in two here by this. Strength. There we go. Isn't that what we said? Resilience, strength here. You're strong. Your natural skills, your natural power is your resiliency and strength. You see adversaries, you see challenges, not adversaries, but you see challenges and you take them on. You stick to your plan and you keep going. You might be a little stubborn too. It's not bad most of the time. Seven of Cups. This resiliency, this hard work and dedication to one aspect, these wands, which feels like it's been a slog, you've been going on and you just haven't gotten through, it's going to lead to quite a new beginning of celebration and many choices. Now, some people might think the Seven of Cups is over too many choices, but if you're given a lot of work, if you've been putting in a lot of work, opportunities start opening up for you. And that's what's going to happen. A lot of new opportunities, a lot of new choices because of your diligence and your strength. Your natural ability is to be strong and resilient in the face of surprises, of curveballs. You are strong. Group number 2, reading number 2, I hope you have a fantastic week ahead, and I believe very strongly that whatever that was that surprised you in the past, your response was one of healing. And that's a beautiful response to have. You turned lemons into lemonade, and I'm proud of you, group number 2. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Take care. Greetings, group number 3, reading number 3. You chose the Page of Cups alongside the Whale and the Green Stone. An excellent combination of card and item, the ocean. So what kind of natural strength do you have that's going to be important in the coming journeys you're facing or you're going through? The coming adventure, the coming challenges, the coming projects. What natural strength do you have? We also have the 9 of Wands, which came out in the beginning. This was during the first drawing, and we are applying it to every reading today. The sensation of just going on and working so hard, and yet you feel like you haven't reached that moment yet. You haven't crossed the finish line. Well, this is the 9 of Wands, and remember, the completion of the cycle is the 10. So, you're very close. You were very close. Okay. Let's draw some cards, and we'll see what kind of natural strength you have that's going to help you along this journey. I feel like these should be in this. It feels like that should be it. Okay, we'll just draw the rest. That seemed very decisive. All right. Okay. We're just drawing the cards. Ooh. Another very decisive moment, huh? Okay. Group number 3. Page of Cups. The Green Stone Whale. In the current position you have the Ace of Swords. A new beginning. A new beginning in thought, in idea, in concept. Underlying the world. Truly a new beginning. The world is like the all-encompassing cycle. the completion of an all-encompassing cycle. A very new idea is coming in. Okay, in the past we have Four of Wands. Perhaps there was a celebration, at least internally, and King of Pentacles. This was in the same position, I think, before. Seven of Pentacles. In the first reading, maybe? So through a lot of hard work, you get to a lot of internal hard work, I should say. Reaching some point of celebration or some point of maturity and some completion of a concept. Perhaps a feeling of being freed from an old thought process or idea. But we have the Sun in the past too. Quite an abundant moment in the past for you. There's a period of real joy. And you were working on yourself as well. Were you on vacation? Or were you just, there's times in life where things just are going well. Was that happening in the past? Perhaps you're thinking about that time in the past. It might not have been recent, but it could have been. In the future position below, we have the Six of Cups, friendship, nostalgia. Are you thinking back to a time of childhood? Knight of Cups. We're going to read Knight of Cups later, but I get a sense that there was a lot of joy, a lot of fun. The Page of Cups is a sign of fun, of kind of boundless fun. Five of Wands, perhaps a little bit of play fighting, or maybe fighting within oneself to kind of debating within yourself, I would say. And in the final position, in the top, we have King of Wands. This seems like a fun venture. Some idea is sparking something that's going to bring a lot of joy. There was a lot of... You might be looking back at times that were a lot of fun, and you're trying to find those things about that you want to bring back into your life. It's not bad to feel a little nostalgia, just to look back and remember the good times, but don't get lost in that. There might be something there, though, that you want to take with you in the future. You might be considering a creative venture, something to make on your own, something of your own to create, but you're deliberating how you're going to do that. This feels like a really interesting end of a cycle, beginning of a new, because you have a lot of joyful, hard work, positive energy here. And right now is this big new beginning coming up, a really big new beginning. A completion of a cycle, a bountiful cycle, and the beginning of a new idea that's going to really, might take a little bit of work internally to think through, but is really going to strengthen your resolve and your creative drive and desire to build. I see a lot of playfulness here, and whales can be very playful. They're also old souls. You might have a sense of yourself where you're, maybe not always, but you might have a core strength, a core energy to yourself where you can crack a joke that's just going to relieve the tension in the room. Maybe if there was an argument, you'll have that wisecrack, that creative word that will just end the fight, and it will make everyone laugh, and everyone takes a breath because we're all friends there. Everyone's family or friends. If you can crack that joke during a tense moment, if you can just push back a little bit and say, "Hey, we're all friends here." Say something that might push the boundaries a little bit, but isn't going to go too far, and is going to get people to kind of stop for a second and remind them that, hey, we're all on the same team. You're playful. You're also wise. That's a strength, for sure, a natural strength. Some wisdom is not natural. It has to be learned. It has to be understood through life experience, but oftentimes there can be wise words even just by chance. You might be one of those people who just has the right thing to say. The right thing to say at the right moment. You might not even know where it comes from. I found when I make the funniest jokes, the funniest jokes I make, that was my ankle cracking. Uh, I'll be short then. I'll be quick with this story. I was just going to say, the times that I actually am in the moment saying funny things that people are laughing at, I have no idea where they're coming from. Well, I mean, I can have an idea of it, but I'm not thinking through the joke, you know? The joke just kind of emerges. And I feel like you might have that ability, that innate ability just to get people to smile and laugh. All right, let's do some clarifying cards here. Ooh, okay. We'll just throw this down. Temperance on top of Ace of Swords, clarifying Ace of Swords. Patience. Don't rush, don't push things. Don't push things. Your idea will come when you least expect it. Clarifying the world. Oops, sorry, guys. Knight of Cups. An emotional new beginning, perhaps. A lot of cups, actually, it's funny. We have Knight of Cups and Knight of Cups. We're going to read Knight of Cups later. Healing, the star, on top of Four of Wands in the past. Perhaps there was an event that was very healing for you. Nine of Pentacles. A lot of hard work. But like bountiful hard work. And like you have the Seven of Pentacles with the Nine of Pentacles. You've been putting in the effort. Page of Wands. Perhaps you were traveling. Perhaps you were on vacation. For yourself, I feel like it really was one to try to heal yourself. It was a good journey you went on. With the Chariot, you were aligning ideals. You were aligning yourself. You seem like a fun person, someone could really go and travel with you. Two of Cups. Look at that, Two of Cups on top of Six of Cups. Perhaps you're finding yourself again, I feel like. That's with the Moon. Not everything's been revealed yet. Three of Wands. You might be going back on an adventure, or you might be allowing certain ideas to float by. You're letting go of old energy in the future. With the Three of Pentacles, perhaps you're going to be learning something new. Perhaps you're going to be taking a class or something, but you also just might be offering your skills in a very effective way in the groups that you're in. You know what I see here is someone who is very, very smart, very playful, wise old soul kind of, but still able to joke around. Remember that. Your ideas, you might have needed to go on this vacation because you might have been healing from quite a lot in the past. And like perhaps taking a break from it, going to someplace healthy where there's sun, where there's water, the beach perhaps, is a good idea. Maybe that's where you went and now you're kind of back, that finished, that completed, and you're like, well, I have to focus on new ideas moving forward. And you're going to do it. But remember to keep your sense of humor involved. You might be communicating with people far away too. You might have a lot of friends that aren't close by, but you still talk to a lot online. The whales can communicate from very far distances, but they're also there's a calm serenity to them. And I feel like that's something that you can bring to other people through your patient attitude towards situations that might otherwise be contentious. You can be playful and bring that laughter back into the room that gets everybody back on the same page. We're going to read the Knight of Cups. This knight loves to wear their heart on their sleeve. The feeling is so strong that emotions run high and are almost always driven by love. As a true romantic, the night presents a love letter to love itself. Maybe the feeling is not simply love, but rather a passion or longing for an idea or wish to come true. Instead of just declaring the idea, you have to take the nurturing steps needed to make them come true. Bring them out in the real world so that all can see your heart's most authentic expression. Instead of just declaring the idea, you have to take the nurturing steps needed to make them come true. Bring them out in the real world so that all can see your heart's most authentic expression. I feel like you've gone on a very fantastic journey in the past, and you have a lot to share with people. I think some of it can be very healing. Obviously, these are revealing those inner depths of oneself through the exploration of the external. You have as within, so without. That concept of combining your internal experiences, your internal calm and true passions can begin to be experienced in the outer world through your actions, but also through your ability to resonate with those situations that would align with that internal reflection. The idea that you'll see things that you feel more often than not, and you might miss those things if you're not feeling them inside. So aligning those ideas with the passions that you believe in, that will really be beneficial for others as well. But the temperance card is great here because it's, if you have no idea, perhaps not just going out and shouting it to the world, but perhaps bringing it into the world. Bringing it into the world first so that people can see it and build with you. And you are a fantastic, fantastic person, I am sure. Apologies, I keep swallowing. I need to drink some water, but I am very excited for you, group number 3. You have that spark, you have that passion, you have that fire in your soul. I can just see it in this reading. You have just joy in you, joy within you. Don't just talk about it. Create it with yourself. Create that with yourself in the world. Bring it into other people through your actions, and people will resonate with that. People will definitely resonate with your creative energy, that spark of joy, that little sense of humor that is so much needed right now. I think people need to laugh a little bit more, because sometimes it can get so serious. But you're someone who's gone out into the world and seen, hey, there's a way of looking at things that can allow us to work through the harder elements, but still laugh on the other end. Group number 3, I am excited to see what you can create. And please, if you know what this is referring to, leave a message in the comments and tell us what you're thinking, or maybe tell us what you want to see in the world, because part of this is teamwork. Part of this is working together to create a better world as a whole, as a tribe. So, thank you so much. I will see you later. Take care.